So, social media is for being social. Seems pretty self-explanatory, right? Well, when Mark Zuckerberg first created Facebook, he did so to help connect people together at his university. That was the simple. Obviously, there was the journey beforehand with, was it Mash Face or whatever it was, that wasn't quite so pure in its intentions. But Facebook, or the Facebook as it started off as, was very much about connection. And people could create profiles that helped to link them with other like-minded people on the campus. And it soon grew to include other schools and so on and so forth. The rest, as they say, is history. We know that Facebook is a global company, and it's not just limited to one place, one country, one type of people. It's for everybody. And obviously, over the years, Facebook, now known as Meta, wasn't a platform for selling or doing events or this, that, and the other. And it has grown and changed. But ultimately, the goal that Facebook, Meta still kind of push out there is it's to create connection. Now, Facebook's made our world smaller and more connected through those kind of, making it smaller. We are able to meet somebody on the other side of the world on a holiday and still maintain that connection with them. It keeps connections alive. My brother lives on the other side of the world. I can still see what he gets up to. And it's an amazing thing. Now, watching a video, I don't know if anybody's ever, if you follow or watch Gary Vee on Instagram, he's got a really great insight into looking at things. And he was talking with Drew Barrymore, actually. And they were talking about how Mark Zuckerberg is quite disappointed with the fact that Facebook now has this negative connotation of the fact that, people are just mindlessly scrolling through stuff and they're disconnecting with the outside world. And it's become a very negative thing in terms of being social. And that the social media has stopped people from being social. And Gary, being Gary, kind of argued with this whole thing that, yes, social media is, it's creating content, it's creating things for entertainment purposes, for educational purposes, and people do sit there and scroll and keep watching videos, and it might seem that it's not social, but there is the ability to be social. There is the ability to connect and comment and have a conversation and start a conversation with the content creator or the person that's posted the video. And that is something that we don't get with a lot of media. So if we think of the term media itself, media is defined as a means of mass communication. That can be through, newspapers, TV, film, magazines, whatever it is that kind of we mass produce a message and we put that message out to everybody. And social media does that. We can create a message, a video, a reel, whatever it is that we want to do, and we can push it out there to a wider audience. And we are allowing people to simply be a voyeur, just watch it for the watching, why not? But there is always that option of being able to connect, being able to ask questions, being able to have an opinion and share it. Maybe sometimes we don't always want that opinion, but ultimately it is that freedom of speech and being able to kind of comment, which is not something that we can really easily do for other forms of media. I know some newspapers that, they're online now, which means you can comment and this, that, and the other. But it's enabling us to voice our own opinion and to connect to the creator and to connect to other people that are viewing the same content that we are and seeing what other people think of that content, which again creates that social element, because 10 people can all watch the same video and have a completely different viewpoint on it, and that inspires conversation. It inspires exchanging those different viewpoints, hopefully in a nice a nice adult way, you know, being kind and thinking of the hashtag Be Kind movement. But obviously, I know that doesn't always happen. But ultimately, that is what social media is. It's to be social. And I think sometimes when we start a business, it's really easy to forget that, because we start looking at social media, Facebook, Instagram, all these different platforms as tools for us to use. And yes, they have adapted to incorporate facilities for small business owners to help us get out there more. But ultimately, we are trying to connect with people. And as small business owners, we should be wanting to connect with our ideal client. And that means thinking long and hard about the different types of platforms that we are using. So thinking of the fact that if we are choosing to be on Facebook because our ideal client is there, we have to talk to them in a way that is befitting to the platform that we're on. You know, we wouldn't go to, I don't know, you wouldn't go to the Queen's Palace for a banquet and, you know, be like, oh, how you doing? Yeah, fucking doing this, blah, blah, blah. You behave and you talk in the way that is befitting to where you're at. So this is what we also have to think about when we're talking about social media. So obviously we know the algorithm is there. It's that elephant in the room that always kind of comes up when we're talking about social media. And we have to know what it's looking for, what it's programmed to push at the moment, because that does change from year to year. And obviously at the moment, it's original content. This means that trends, you know, trending audios and fads and things, that's not really what they're looking for, because it's not original. Unless you can take a trending audio and do something completely different with it, Facebook, Instagram's not really going to push it. It's just going to be in a sea of sameness. So they're looking at content that's making a genuine connection and conveys a genuine message. So use your social media to be social, interact with others. Don't just use it as the tool for your business, because you're just not going to understand how to speak to your audience. And I want you to think about every film that you've ever watched where that outsider comes in and they try and do things the way that they've always done them and expecting the results they've always had before, and not taking into consideration the people that they're talking to. Now, I definitely, when I was thinking of this analogy, Dangerous Minds came into my head, you know, the whole Michelle Pfeiffer and kind of this different, you know, not only are they different, they're different cultures, they're different races, that, you know, all these different things come into play, and that kind of not understanding how to talk to these people. There's no empathy with how to actually teach them in a way that is for them to understand. And this is what we have to remember, that people on Facebook, they're not there to be sold to. They're not there to have your products and services shoved down their throat. They're there to be sociable. So we need to remember that when we're talking to them. And I for one, can say hands down, the people that befriend me on Facebook and then instantly get into my DMs to sell me something, they get blocked. They go on my blacklist of people, like, you know, there are certain companies that are already on my blacklist that if I get a friend request from people from that company, I don't even accept it, because I know what's going to happen. I'm going to instantly accept and they're going to instantly come into my DMs and sell to me, because it keeps happening. So that's what we have to think about. I'm on there, I'm on Facebook to connect with people, not to be sold to. So it's that kind of thing of, you know, you come into my app with, you know, with your intention of selling to me, what you're going to get is a door in your face. So we have to know how to talk to people on the apps, on the platforms that we are choosing to do that. Yes, it's a tool, but it's also an app for this purpose. So use it for the purpose it's intended for. Have your own Facebook profile. Post things about what you're doing and what you're up to, and pictures and personal things. Use the app how it's intended, and then use it as the tool as well. Understand the app. Yeah, that's what's really important here. Understand the app and its purpose before just thinking it's a tool to use. Because then you'll start to understand how to talk to people, how to interact with people, and it will come genuinely. It will be more authentic. Now, I'm not saying make friends with people just for the sake of making friends with them and then selling to them, because again, that's just really, it's just not what people like. You feel then you're being used and something, then that's not a nice feeling for anybody to feel. So make it genuine, make genuine connections with people, and let them know from the off that you've got things that you think that they could benefit from. So make it clear that there are ways that you can help them, but don't spam them, and definitely don't put pressure on them. This thing you have to do, it's about that balance, which is what I mentioned in my other video. Have balance in kind of knowing when's that time to be social and when's that time to be businessy. That's why when it comes to like Facebook groups and things like that, there is a certain percentage of posts that we should be doing. We should be doing like 20% sales and 80% kind of social interactions and things, because that's what Facebook groups are about. It's about interaction. So if we're just selling at people, it's not really having that desired effect. People are just going to switch off. So yeah, make sure that you are talking to people in a way that inspires connection. That's when you can start using social media to really take your business to the next level. Be authentic, be yourself, and have fun with it. Business is business, but allow yourself to have fun at the same time as well, and connect with people on a personal level. That's not just about business. I hope that helps. If you like our channel, please do click subscribe. There'll be lots more videos on little hints and tips like this, as well as business recommendations, small biz interviews, and such. So yes, I hope that's helpful, and see you all soon.